I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite
podcast
on the Citadel.
You are listening to Accidentally Casual, two nerds, one gaming podcast. My name is Minius of Minius GC, and with me is Tucker from Talking About Games.
Hello.
Again, Tucker is a game designer, and I'm a dude with a big voice who plays a lot of games, and together we podcast.
Yeah. Well, when we were doing the mic check thing, you said say hi, and with this, I was saying hello with that. I thought you meant say hi with the next one. Or with
I don't actually care.
Oh.
Accidentally Casual comes out weekly, usually Thursday or Friday. But it is always at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, 5 at night in the UK, 7 at night in South Africa, and 4 a.m. on the East Coast of Australia the next day. If you have a question or topic suggestion, send it over to accidentallycasual@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter. I'm at MiniusGC, and Tucker is at AppyTucker.
Yeah, so we got we got a big announcement last week.
Dude,
we got a thing last week.
So we were going to try to branch out, and this is going to be our third straight week of talking Mass Effect.
Is it the third week?
Third straight week of us talking Mass Effect. So a couple weeks ago, we talked Casey Hudson, and then we had our planned Mass Effect show, and then the surprise trailer drop.
Yeah, and I also like how you and I, at the end of the last podcast, we were kind of like, is there anything that you'd be really excited for or something with the announcement? And neither of us said anything about Mass Effect or anything because we just weren't expecting that.
I thought there was almost no chance. I figured.
I completely threw that out. I was just like, that's not happening. It's just like, yeah.
I figured,
Holy
and
crap.
I felt like the correct thing to do was to put all the emphasis on Dragon Age and then put that out and then go to Mass Effect. But
yeah,
that was a really, really weird flex by BioWare. Completely unexpected. Yeah. Out of nowhere, I didn't think.
But
they
I
were
like it. I
like
really like it.
They're like, check this out. They doubled up on it.
It makes me excited because it makes me feel like BioWare is confident, and I like that.
BioWare does have a relationship with the Game Awards. That's where I ended up meeting Brian. Or who did I meet there? Good. Oh my God, Aaron Flynn and Mike Gamble, I think.
Okay.
I met both
when
of
them. Something that was kind of cool, when I worked at Bungie, the way to my desk, I walked by the award wall that was on Bungie, and it was kind of cool. It had a bunch of awards from different game shows, even going all the way back to the original Halo, and had like other little things in it, and I just thought that was kind of cool.
You know what's weird about those games? So being in person, and this year's obviously wasn't in person. Right? I mean, I always watch the trailer.
I didn't watch.
So
I'm guessing they did it online.
It's a gamer event, but there were people who showed up in like full-on tuxes when I was there a couple of years ago.
Well,
I was like, what the hell? And I'm in there in like the shittiest clothes possible because those are gamer clothes, and I felt ridiculous.
Well,
but it was a mix
of both. It's still treated like an awards show.
It is an award show, but it was like a mix of both. There were just a lot of people like me, and then a lot of people really dressed up, and there was no in-between, and it was awkward. I just wanted to point that out.
What was the Game Awards show that was just absolutely awful?
I think that's a matter of opinion, but there's been some.
It was like the Spike one, the one that was on Spike TV, or something like that.
We've been over this before. I don't really care about the awards. I just like the announcements. So that's what I was paying attention to. And
it had awful things. Like it had the awards like painted on girls' butts, like the nominees.
Oh, for real?
They came out on stage. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore, can you? Tucker's looking it up. Anyway, I'm going to steer us back onto Mass Effect because the new Mass Effect trailer, and there's the new game. They gave us a direction. And I think they went in a direction that none of us were really expecting, including the people who wrote in and gave us their game topic ideas. Did anyone say they're going to have one specific ending to Mass Effect 3 and they're going to just continue on from that? Because I'm pretty sure everyone there was Andromeda sequels and then ways to ignore the endings, like having the game take place before Mass Effect 3 starts, or way, way after Mass Effect 3, but they really,
Wasn't there
really
one
hinted.
theory or one person who was like, this was immediately after Mass Effect 3, but they had like a game for every single ending?
Yeah, so that was just to incorporate everybody, but this is very specific according to the evidence. You got you got Dead Reapers, and there are only Dead Reapers in one scenario, unless they change something drastic, which they probably shouldn't mess too much with this. And the mass relay.
I'm guessing the Reapers are dead in this. Is my guess. Is the Reapers are.
There's multiple Dead Reapers. Liara is climbing up a Dead Reaper in the trailer.
I thought there was just one in the background.
No, that's a Dead Reaper she's on.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I know there was that one in the snowy, like, I thought that was just like a mountain she was climbing up.
It looks like
with
a
the
mountain,
Reaper
but it's actually a Reaper.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a flex.
Which is interesting, given the location of Shepard's armor is on that. That's weird. But I don't so what do you think about this? Just having one canon ending, and then just going from there.
That is my ending for the most part. So I'm fine with that because I destroyed. So it's fine with me. And actually, what I think they might do, and it kind of seems to make sense, is with the Mass Effect remaster, your choices in that will be allowed into the next Mass Effect game. That it'll be like not a soft reboot, or maybe kind of a soft reboot of like the series, but it will allow, if you've played the trilogy, to have some of those choices in there. I think it might do that. Just because it just seems like it's lining up kind of with the remaster. And
that'll matter significantly when the game actually takes place, because as we went over in the last week's show, Liara, very, very young for an Asari in the Mass Effect trilogy. So she's got another like 900 years in her. So this game could take place 400, 500 years after Mass Effect 3, in which case there just aren't many characters that are still going to be alive.
I think, and I feel like this was probably talked about last week. I honestly can't remember what we've talked about.
What do you got?
I think this is going to take place actually pretty close after Mass Effect 3. And the story is going to be about rebuilding getting all the races and everything together, and the destruction. I definitely know you talked about this. It's going to do a power grab move, but it may be something more along like getting the races working together, kind of what people thought Andromeda was going to be. How we're uniting everything, getting the new races together, and all that kind of stuff, making a whole new living galaxy, that we're kind of just doing that in the Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Moving forward from there is trying to rebuild.
And that would very much allow the choices of who, like a different race to play as.
So what choice specifically would you like to carry on? I'm kind of thinking they want to restart as much as possible.
Characters who are living or dying. That would be, I feel like, a quote, like a simple one. If the person's dead, they're just not in there, and that may help with some immersion of it. But so that could be some of the bigger things of like the Rachni Queen. I know that's a big choice. Romance. If you romance a person that's alive, that you may start with like a bonus towards a romance with them. You take some of the more broad
with a new character
things.
Or with Shepard.
Fair. Yeah, if Shepard's dead, hold up.
That's the biggest question. Who is your main playable character? Is it going to be Shepard?
No. My guess is, though, that we're part of the ending of this Mass Effect will be finding, hey, we think we may have found Shepard's body. Is where I think maybe it might be like part of the end of this game.
That kind of steps on what they did with the Destroy ending, though, because that is the one scenario that Shepard lives through.
Yeah, but we could be finding him, like,
or her.
Well, yeah,
or they.
And that might also be part of the thing. Like, if you picked male or female Shepard with it, that will guarantee that Shepard in the new one.
I think there's a legitimate chance Shepard is your protagonist, main character. I think there's a legitimate chance of that, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. But
I don't think it'll be Shepard. I think part of it will be finding Shepard, but it'll be you with a new person, and it will have some familiar faces coming through, like Liara, and allow new people in.
If you're looking at this from a standpoint of what would make the best game, I'm not sure they picked the best option. But if you're looking at this from a standpoint of trying to get the fans the most excited for it, and yeah, that is real fan service, that's why I'm thinking bringing back Shepard as the main character would get a lot of people quite excited.
Maybe. So, I mean, it would absolutely get people excited.
From a business standpoint, that's why I'm thinking they may go that direction. I wouldn't, but I think they might.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But, I mean, I also had a theory for Mass Effect Andromeda that I thought would have worked pretty well, and then I was extremely wrong with it.
Well, we were all wrong, basically. I really did not think they'd pick a canonical ending. And they went with it, and it's a bold stroke, really. It's a bold stroke that could pay off.
Well, I mean, I think it was one of those things where they had to. There was no choice, really.
I don't know if no choice...
They had to pick an ending.
I don't know if no choice was the answer, but if they want to... Like, I think they've gone through this, and they've taken polls of people when they're trying to figure out how to move forward after Mass Effect 3, and almost everybody wants a sequel, not a prequel. And prequels are... How many prequel games have worked?
Halo Reach.
Like, how many others?
Let's see. What are
the ones
games?
I can think of? There's like God of War Ascension, which nobody liked. It's not common.
Well, no.
It works a lot better in movies, and even at that point, especially in a game like Mass Effect where you're trying to make decisions. And let's say it's a prequel, your decisions are limited. You can't affect the whole galaxy if it's a prequel in different directions, just because that changes the start of the Mass Effect trilogy, which they're not going to do.
Well, Halo Reach is still a fantastic prequel. Do you count Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island?
Does that have a story?
Yeah. It takes place before any other Mario game occurs.
I don't recall those early Mario games having a real story.
Well,
just like the princess
they are babies. The Mario, Luigi, Bowser, and everything are like infants. They are babies in that game.
Okay.
And you're controlling Yoshi, who, like, those Mario and all them aren't even playable characters.
I'm not going to count that because it's completely shut me up when I'm trying to think about it. And it's not helpful.
What about Deus Ex Human Revolution?
I could not play that.
Ooh.
Which we will get into in a little bit.
You're a big fan of the Metal Gear series, right?
That's right. There's a Peace Walker.
Metal Gear Solid 3.
Metal Gear Solid 5 and 3 are theoretically prequels. That's true. I never even thought of it.
Resident Evil 0 is on this list.
Okay, so it can work.
Yeah,
None of those...
I mean, it's definitely, like, not common. I had to Google, but yeah, there's if it's done well, it can be done.
It's harder, though, if you're trying to make decisions. And I think
Yes.
doing a Mass Effect without decisions is rough.
Well, it would have decisions, but none of them would have an actual lasting impact because the prior games were made before the prequel was made. So you can't reprogram.
You can't say, like, oh my god, all the Asari are dead. You're like, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah. But I mean, it really does look like they are sticking. They are saying the destroy ending is what happened, and I feel like that also might be the best one to do.
That is the one that is
going to easier one to introduce new players into as well.
That's true.
It's like, hey, we had these bad guys and we destroyed them.
And they're all dead.
Okay, I get that. And part of the game absolutely is going to be exploring Reaper or investigating them, checking out their technology. So the new players will get some story for it. But if they were to come in and we're like, oh yeah, we were having this big war with these guys, and now we have like mind controlled them. Be like, wait, what? Or it's like, yeah, we're all robots now. We're all synthetic.
Everybody's half robot. You're like, what?
Yeah, that would be a lot more explaining to do, rather than bad guys showed up, we stopped them. Yeah.
I think the less that this game really focuses on previous games and tries to start something new, the better it'll do.
Yeah, that's why I think it's going to be about reuniting the races together, and probably some of the choices are going to be of, like, the Reapers were here to stop us from, like, getting up to a point where we create technology that just wipes out sentience, or wipes out organics, that, like, we need to figure out how to control ourselves so we don't get to that point. Like, how choices to make to do that. So how can we progress in technology while making sure this doesn't happen? And that may be some of the choices.
Yeah, the villain setup isn't that difficult in this scenario either, because you have this enormous power vacuum.
It can just be not gangs, but
basically
different races trying
no matter what happens, and if you're listening to this and haven't played Mass Effect 3, sorry, basically everyone on the Citadel is dead. And there were a lot of important people on the Citadel.
Yeah.
They're all gone. Or I guess theoretically they could escape, but they got crushed.
And because I think the majority of the people cured the genophage, so the Krogans are breeding again.
That's something you could skip off, and they could fix that themselves, technically, depending on how much... I don't know what they're going to do with that.
They may canonically do that the genophage was cured, because it wasn't the curing the genophage part of what helped us stop the Reapers? Wasn't that part of, like, the Star Child saying that was different with our cycle? Was like,
I don't remember specifically saying that.
Because
there are a
few things like the
other than that dialogue piece. If it's there, that doesn't really affect the endings though, because you could still get your proper war score and get the ending that you want.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because he did mention like a few things of what was different with our cycle.
I'm not that into the Star Child.
Nah. I shot him one time and didn't know that was an ending.
Isn't
and I was like, shit.
That is the best ending. The best ending.
Yeah, because he just like, and just waves his hand.
I like just when they were like, dude, fuck this kid. And I shot him and then he killed everyone. And I'm like, wow, that is the best reaction from an NPC I've ever gotten unexpectedly.
Yeah, no, like that was
just like, okay, I will kill everyone in the galaxy for shooting
and not
me.
Just that, but that was also like a choice that you made that you didn't know was a choice, which is what made it perfect, is that you weren't expecting that as a like official choice, a no going back choice.
They added that reject thing in the patch, right? It wasn't in the initial release from what I know.
Well, it was,
from what I
wasn't
remember
in the initial, because people only talked about 3 endings, unless that was like a secret ending that people didn't realize until the community got angry at it.
I think they added it because people were angry with the endings and gave them another option to say, hey, screw you, I'm not doing any of this.
Yeah, because they improved those endings. Like, they extended the cutscene, and...
I think instead of improved, the word might be finished, because those were very unpolished, unfinished endings, which we can get into at a later point.
Well, now we know which one's canon. So what are they going to do with like the remaster? When this game comes out, are they going to patch out the like Shepard just goes up into the beam and then just like credits roll?
No, they can't do that. Here's how I look at it, as you look at with every time split branch. So let's say you're in a timeline that splits. So there's like, you make a decision, this character dies, that character lives. Let's say you kill off Rex in Mass Effect 1, just to give everyone that timeline still continues, even if you're not in it. So there is no reason to just cut that off there. Basically, we're continuing on a very specific timeline fragment. That's my opinion of what's going on. So if you picked Control, that still exists, and it still goes on forever. We're just not continuing with that in the new game.
Fun fact, the first time I played Mass Effect, I killed Rex.
Did you not have the proper influence, I guess? What was it?
I did not, and I didn't do the Krogan armor mission, his family armor. And I was trying to, like, calmly talk to him, and then Ashley shot him. I was like, oh, yo!
God damn it!
That's why I left her.
Oh,
I
interesting.
was like, 1 for 1, bitch.
Yeah, I always, in those kind of games, always build up my influence and negotiation.
Well, I didn't know what was,
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of the point of it.
You are by far not the only person who did that.
But
yeah, I guarantee a lot of people their first time ended up shooting Rex, and they're like, ah! Did you restart?
No, I just continued. I was like, fuck it. I was like, because I knew it was like, this is choice-based. Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah, and he was dead. Although, I did play Mass Effect 1 a few times before I played Mass Effect 2. So that wasn't my Mass Effect 2 save. My Mass Effect 2 save had, like, Rex was alive and everything like that. But
yeah, you could... I played Mass Effect 2 so many times to get to a Mass Effect 3 save. And it ended up not really mattering, so...
The first time I played Mass Effect 2, I had everyone survive the suicide mission, too.
Nicely done.
It was too easy. It was too easy to figure out. Do everyone's loyalty mission, which seemed pretty simple, and then you just fully upgrade your ship. And then it's like, who are we going to have do the hacking? This insane person with years and years of hacking skills and all this stuff, or this one person who's just really confident? I'm like, no! Give it to Tally. Like, what are you doing?
I wasn't sure how that mechanic worked when I first played it. So I picked my least favorite characters, assuming they would die.
Oh, no.
I didn't realize that you could have everyone survive, and so that's why I screwed it up.
Although I did have Kelly die, because I didn't know that happens if you, like, you need to immediately do that. Yeah, that you're timed with that. But no, all the people that mattered survived.
All the people that matter, poor Kelly. Feed my fish and then go away.
Yeah, pretty much. Although
I like Kelly. Kelly probably doesn't survive Mass Effect 3 no matter what. Right?
Why?
Because she was on the Citadel.
Full fair.
And the Citadel got wrecked.
So, question. If we did synthetic choice, do you think Kelly merges with her toothbrush?
Different character.
Damn it!
Yeah. I like what you were going there, but yeah, you're thinking of Samantha Trainer.
Yeah.
So that question, yeah, maybe that'd be an interesting fan fiction. I bet that exists.
Maybe.
That's
I'd be less happy if that already exists, because I thought that'd be pretty funny. I thought that was a pretty funny thing.
I think you're not the only person to think about that.
Fair.
All right, so we got this new Mass Effect game. We think it's set. I think is not the right word. It's almost certainly set in the Destroy ending, right?
It has to be.
Either that or they only showed a fraction of what they're doing.
I mean, the Dead Reaper, maybe the only explanation could then be that it was killed already during the war.
The change there, though, is that the mass relay is also busted. Yes. And Destroy is the only one that busts up the mass relays. If you bust up the mass relays in Control, the Reapers go back and rebuild it.
The Reapers fix it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they fix it.
That's like first thing they do.
All right.
So
there were also some like words in the trailer too. They're like what I liked is that it was like it seemed like a timeline of events.
It was a timeline. If you want to check that out, I got a full video on it and go over every single one.
I liked the War of the Worlds mention at the beginning.
I missed the fact that there was War of the Worlds when I was doing it. You've done these before, right? Where the trailer comes out and you're like, oh, I got to hurry up and put this thing out. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That was every the one single thing one of my videos has mistakes in it.
Yeah.
All of them do. Even my most proud video, the comparing Mass Effect history to human history, dude, so much of that stuff I got fucked up because I spent like a month and a half or something researching and rewriting the script over and over and over, and like took so fucking long to do that I just made little mistakes here and there, and oh my god,
those lore videos are rough.
Yeah, but
they're so specific.
But I like the idea that I was going behind it, and it was comparing like our history to Mass Effect. So it's like when the Krogan rebellion and war thing was going on, you know, we had the Roman Empire, and it was like comparing that history with that. And I thought that was a dope idea, but holy shit, my execution was awful.
Yeah. I think I remember
my most watched video, which staggers me.
Yeah, people are really into the lore.
Yeah, they are.
So let's look at what are your 3 biggest questions or whatever that are still unanswered going into this new game.
I mean, so, like,
you don't need 3. You can do 1 or 2.
Exactly when is it? Like, exactly when is
that?
This?
Would be one of mine.
I feel like it's
when is it?
sooner than later. I feel like it might be a safer choice to make it as like sooner after Mass Effect 3 rather than spend a few hundred years.
You think it'd be safer? I guess.
Yeah, because so much more can happen.
It could have Shepard in it.
If they do that, I think they're gonna do a thing where like you may have to save Shepard, or like you're on a search for him. I don't think that's going to be the main story of it, searching for him, but that might be because I think the main focus might be uniting all the races and stuff, to which that might actually have that XCOM thing that I was talking about, where you like, now that everyone's on their own, some races may group up together and be decent with each other, but some of them may group up and just like the Batarians and the Vorcha and all of them may.
There aren't very many Batarians left.
But they may group together and just try to be like a gang, a small violent gang that tries to take control and do things that way.
You could easily find yourself in the middle of the Milky Way split into 3 different factions that are fighting each other, right?
Yeah. And you could have to like pick a side, and that could be the Paragon, Renegade, and the middle option, like the center.
I don't think they'll do Paragon Renegade unless there's a Shepard.
You don't think they're going to do that?
No, they didn't in Andromeda, and they said specifically that's going to be Shepard's thing.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well,
I remember them saying that specifically.
They may do this is the lawful choice, and this is the chaotic choice. Then they may like do that of you could be leading the gangs and do some nasty shit, or you could try to unite and do that.
The real
that would be a lot.
The real interesting question that I have that is second to yours is, how the hell do you even get around the galaxy now? Because the galaxy is so big that you can't actually just get in a ship and go. You need the mass relays.
Yeah,
so if the mass
with
relays
the ships, it would
working,
take years.
You're going to be marooned, basically. Like it can take you centuries to get across a small amount of that galaxy map that you look at. You need those mass relays.
Yeah, and we know the relays are destroyed because of that one in the trailer.
So that's going to. Do they modify a Reaper engine? I don't know. Something like that is an option.
I mean,
because we know the Reapers
could very well be.
Reapers move faster than the technology that they had, because they could go all the way from dark space and make their way into the galaxy in a matter of like 6 years.
Yeah, I mean that could be what they do, is take Reaper tech.
But it'll change the game significantly without the mass relays, as far as exploration goes.
Would the Reaper tech still do indoctrination?
The answer to that question is also interesting. I think the answer is yes. And it wouldn't be the same kind of indoctrination, but you remember the Mass Effect 2 mission where you're trying to go find the Cerberus crew that's checking out a dead Reaper. They all get indoctrinated and die, basically. Yeah. So theoretically,
but if the Reapers are destroyed now, like
the Reapers are completely messed up, but they still have influence. So they could go either way on that. They could say that whatever the destroy pulse wiped out all their power, or they could not.
They could kind of do the thing that with the Flood, essentially, in Halo, where they, after you've essentially defeated the Flood in Halo 3, you have not fully defeated them. They are still like an unstoppable force that just a tiny particle of it needs to remain for it to regrow, that they're kind of like in the background, that they are still a threat, but one that's like looming in the back that no one really is aware of, or so on. And that may be like some of the Reaper stuff of,
I feel like the
there
Reapers,
may be some Reapers that
they should be left behind story-wise as much as you can to try to move forward.
Well, just of like...
But you're right. There could be like a single Reaper out there that's trying to rebuild. I think rehashing
not a single
the
Reaper, but just like
storyline,
husks, or is that some sort of indoctrination that may bring something similar? Like it may be an indoctrination that they may try to restart a Reaper.
Yeah, one indoctrinated dude who starts a project that takes a couple hundred years that can rebuild the Reaper species. If they're not really a species.
Because he's indoctrinated and he's like trying to bring it back. That might be.
There are a lot of options.
That might be.
I still think the best is trying to fight off someone that's trying to take a power vacuum, and maybe they picked up a bunch of, you go very, very Mass Effect, pick up a bunch of alien artifacts from a previous cycle and become stronger, and you got to go in there and cut them off. But, there are options in this scenario. There are options.
I hope that power grab isn't, though, a single big bad guy, because that was the Reapers, the big bad guy that had to unify the universe together to fight this big bad guy. So if another big bad guy were to come in, it'd be like, okay, like it could be cool, could be well designed, could be awesome, but it's like, it'd be interesting if they have, instead of it be one bad guy, have it be a bunch of small things, like a small bad guys that you just have to work with and have to balance. Like that could be it, is the bad guy itself is trying to keep the universe in balance rather than a threat coming in. We are the threat. Our nature of wanting to take control and things like that is like, we got to unify. Like that could be the big bad.
I still think they need a singular personality. They really need to nail that for this game.
Oh, I mean, they could have like leaders of the groups that,
like Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 had very strong enemy personalities that you have to deal with specifically, even though they're not the primary cause. Like Saren, fantastic. Even Harbinger was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There wasn't
those
one
are
in
like
Mass
the
Effect 3,
leaders of the bad. Like you can still have those. There isn't like one bad guy that we have to unify together to fight. It is multiple like groups or gangs or things like that are kind of forming together to try to be the leading group.
And a lot of this depends on how far you can move in the galaxy, because if you can only move, a couple hundred light years, you can only have a small pocket of influence. You're not going to have one huge galaxy-wide threat. So there's still questions that need to be answered.
Watch, they make it small, like the with the Andromeda Galaxy, that was kind of
it was
the
just one
explanation.
cluster. You couldn't get anywhere else in the galaxy because it was too big. So you just stuck to one cluster, and that was it.
Do you think that this is going to be more reminiscent of the Mass Effect trilogy gameplay, where it is kind of like you go from small space to small space that is kind of like that? Or do you think it'll be open in the aspect of Andromeda?
That's a good question. I think they should go small space to small space and then have explorable areas that are aside from the main content, because that allows the story to flow a lot faster. Will they do that? Yeah. I'm less confident that they'll do that. But,
as well as also, like, just with today's games, you do want to give more of the world for the player to explore.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. So you can have an explore, but you shouldn't have to go to a planet and drive for 5 minutes to get to your mission. You should be able to just go. And then for extra side stuff, be able to explore around after that point at your own pace. So if you want to keep the story moving, you can keep the story moving. You don't have to say, oh, okay, get here and now drive for a long time and get lost in this open world to get to your next objective. Yeah, you don't really want that.
Yeah. But talking about getting lost in an open world, a game that is not doing that too well is Cyberpunk.
So we've gone different paths in that. You were playing it on the One X, right?
Yes, the Xbox One X.
I hate the whole title of that.
Yeah, right? Did I tell you what the internal working names are?
We went over this on the first time we restarted.
Yeah, I can't tell if that was cut content or not.
So
but
it's
the Scorpio.
From a technical standpoint, does that work?
Oh, I mean, the game crashes. Man, okay, so I was standing on the road, just kind of looking around, and you know how you can see cars coming at you. Well, what open world games do, not just Cyberpunk, but like GTA 5 and other games like that, when those cars are off in the distance, they're not 3D models. Those are 2D sprites that you're seeing moving around. And it's to help with rendering. But so I was standing on the road with Cyberpunk 2077, a game that came out in 2020, and playing this on the Xbox One X. Standing in the road, and I'm looking down it, and I just press the zoom button, and I can very clearly see 2D sprites moving around on the road that I am on. Like, all I did was just zoom in slightly, and there were 2D sprites. That's nuts.
So the
rain effects in this game is a filter that is on your screen. There is still, like, depending on your system.
Are you shaking your cat while you're talking?
No, that is my dog.
Okay.
Who is digging into his bed because he's a nutter. He's a terrier.
I had this picture of
they're a digging type
you
dog.
talking about bugs in Cyberpunk and holding your cat up in the air and then shaking her like into the microphone.
No.
Okay.
No. I love her too much.
Have you played a buggier game that's officially launched ever?
Well, I mean, I've worked in QA.
Have you played a buggier game that's officially launched ever?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, the Master Chief Collection.
No, but it hadn't launched yet.
No. The Master Chief Collection on launch. When I worked on it, it was I worked on it. Like a year or something ago. I worked with the Halo Reach DLC and the PC port. When MCC first came out, the game was unplayable for an entire month.
Interesting.
Like, matchmaking was not happening at all. There were times you're playing single-player games, and it would just crash. It would take sometimes hours for people to find a multiplayer game. And part of the issue was the fact that code was literally copy-pasted from the old engine into the new engine. That's kind of not how you do things. But so that game was awful. But man, the thing is though, MCC didn't hype themselves up the way that CD Projekt Red did.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about this is that CG Projekt Red we're looking at. We were talking about this like, man, it's so great to have a company that's not totally focused on the money and is willing to take their time. And oh my God, that was not true at all.
Yeah.
It was not true at all. They just pooped
like,
on a disc and handed it to people.
Yeah, and the thing is I've also been playing the game every single free moment I've had this week.
Interesting. So you're still going.
I'm still enjoying.
I have stopped.
I'm still enjoying the game because the way that I play it, like, to me, Cyberpunk doesn't feel like an RPG game, which is where a lot of people are upset. And I also want to say, I'm enjoying the game. Everyone that's upset at it is very rightfully so. There are a lot of issues with this game, not just bugs, but like the illusion of choice, so much cut content, just so many things that are missing from a game that came out in 2020 that was in games that that came out in GTA 5 that is in 2013 when that game came out. But I'm still enjoying the game because to me, I'm playing this game more like a futuristic Far Cry game.
Okay.
And playing it with that kind of idea it just I love the Far Cry games. I'm a sucker for those. And this just feels kind of like a Far Cry game, which I know isn't up to the standard that everyone was looking for, but I'm kind of sitting back like, hey, I'm enjoying this gameplay, like hacking around and going in with a silenced pistol that can like 3-shot people in the body or 1-shot their head, and I'm going through like shutting off cameras, blinding optics as I then rush in and shoot one guy and the other guy's freaking out and I dome him and grab another. Like I just have a lot of fun with trying to be stealthy and running in with a silenced pistol. I got an SMG as a backup, and then I got a sniper rifle that it hits people so hard, their descendants will feel that. It does like 800 points of damage for a single shot. It wipes out entire generations. It's nuts.
So we're going to keep on talking about this, but not get into spoiler stuff. But basically what happened is I stopped playing. I was not enjoying the game at all. I'm going to finish it, but I'm going to wait for it to not be buggy.
That's fair.
Because
I mean, that's fair.
As the only thing I didn't like the way the game handled it all. I'm very finicky about first-person shooters. So I need a game to handle nicely in order for me to enjoy it if it's a first-person shooter that isn't just an exploration game. It handles very clunky, and the driving's very clunky. And I was afraid that was going to be an issue. That's more of a thing. But what's most important is I finally got into the story, and there was a real emotional part in the story, and then this crazy bug came out of nowhere, and I'm playing it on PC, and it just completely ruined the scene. And I'm like, God damn it. No. And that was it. I was like, I have to put that down. And I had a friend who had the exact same thing happen to them. And there's even an article saying that someone played in the final cutscene that happened to him. Something like that. So that just ruins the whole experience. So I want to like the game, so I'm going to wait till it's done. So at some point we're going to do a spoiler cast, but it's going to be a ways off because the game isn't done yet. And if you haven't picked it up, I recommend waiting.
Oh yeah, no, I am enjoying this game. Like I said, I'm spending all my free time playing this game. I cannot recommend that to someone. I wanted to show off the game to someone, and I felt embarrassed
that you enjoyed it
when the game was launched. Well, no, when the game was launched and the person I know was playing the game a little bit, I felt embarrassed a little bit with them playing the game because I was trying to explain some of the things while there were some issues going on, and I'm like, I felt embarrassed, and that is not how I imagined it would have felt showing someone Cyberpunk. Just feeling like not ashamed, but just kind of like a guilty pleasure of it. But it's like I probably could have shown another game as a better, like.
Yeah, I also feel, and this is more of an opinion thing, but I know for a fact that they originally were going to have third-person cutscenes where you could see your character and then see them interact with it. How many of those have you run into?
None. There's none.
They cook them all out, right?
I believe so. And not just that, you can't customize your character.
No, you can.
Not after the initial screen.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. You can change your character's outfit, which first off, having the clothes be the different type of armor.
Yeah, don't get too far into that because that's a completely different thing. So you can't.
I mean, I'm not a fan of that because
the whole point of Cyberpunk is that you can modify your body, right? So you can't modify stuff afterwards. Interesting.
No, you can't. And I went in there with my character kind of being clean, and I was going to have them add tattoos or cybernet, like depending on how I was feeling with it, or maybe like if I join this gang, I'll get their tattoo, or this gang or something. First off, you can't join any of those gangs.
That's
and
not
nothing
surprising.
You do will change that. I went on just a
try not to get too much into
I'm not stuff. It's not spoilers, but like in the open world, I was killing one just group. I just went in there and just was killing them and stuff like that. And then a few moments later, I get a call from their leader, and they have a mission for me. They're like, hey, I need to go do this. Like, do you not care that I just slaughtered some of your own people.
And it wasn't a trap?
Like, there's no, no, it wasn't. It was a normal
If
mission.
it was a trap, that would have been fantastic.
There's no, like, it feels like there's no morality with it, that you can't join any of the gangs. You can make some of them upset, and you can definitely get some contracts cut.
I want to jump back to the cutting out of cutscenes, though, because I feel like that's one of the best ways. Third-person storytelling is superior to first-person storytelling in that way, where you
Half-Life.
I think that if you have a character that's customizable and you customize them in a specific way, and you want to see that, and you want to see them interact with people in animations and stuff, it's better third-person, and they cut that out.
When you're customizing the character, 100%. But like all the Valve games have nothing but first-person.
They cut all that out probably to save time and money, right? Am I right in that?
Yes, and there is a theory going on that Keanu Reeves is the reason why this game is the issue that it is.
Oh,
and
is there any evidence behind that theory?
It's the idea that they had the game set. You know, they had, because they've been designing this for 8 years, that they've had this plan set. They probably had all these ideas, everything like that going in pre-pro. All that stuff was working. And then they got Keanu as Johnny Silverhand.
Okay.
As probably a small character. You know, he was just going to be like a background person too, which I also want to say, without, this isn't spoilers or anything like that, but my theory is, I'm saying that my previous theory that I had is wrong, because I didn't know that the events with Johnny happened like 50 or 60 years ago.
Yeah, Tucker, let's try to steer away from story stuff as much as possible.
That's already canon stuff, isn't it? Like,
I understand that, but let's just steer away from that as much as possible and give people a chance to play it.
But so they got Keanu as Johnny Silverhand, and you know that's an exciting thing. You know, there's this big name actor and everything like that.
There was no way they'd put him in there for a small role. By the way, he wouldn't agree to that.
Well, that was, why not?
Because he's Keanu Reeves. He doesn't need a small role. No actors take small roles. How many small roles does he take?
Yeah, they do. There's actors will take small roles if they enjoy the medium, if they enjoy the thing. They'll take the small role just to be a part of that.
It's super unusual.
But that because he was brought in, there was Keanu, that they made Silverhand a bigger part. And now Silverhand is like the main part of the story, so they had to restructure the game to focus around that. Because if you look at some of the original trailers, not original trailer, like the original gameplay, when they were showing the character customizer, one of the backgrounds was a rocker where Johnny Silverhand was an inspiration for you. But then there were other ones like Arasaka. If you picked corporate, the Arasaka was an inspiration for you.
I don't think
that. Like, it seemed.
I don't think you have any evidence for this theory. So there's, and we're not going to.
I do.
No,
I do.
I asked for evidence and you didn't give any.
What do you mean I was talking?
You've just been rambling. You're just guessing.
Well,
evidence.
Well, I'm going off of things that I'm reading off of some of the forums and some of the community theories of what's going on.
So you got no evidence.
There's some of the idea that it was adding Keanu and then making him a bigger role change the direction of the game.
Do you want a much more likely scenario? Investors pressured them to put the game out, and they cut a bunch of stuff. Which is exactly what happened. So none of this Keanu shit matters.
No. But those aren't mutually exclusive. It could be that they had the Keanu, so they had to restructure, and because they restructured, they didn't have time to finish certain things because they had to restructure it to fit the new narrative. And then more things just had to start getting cut.
I don't know. We'll have to see when he was hired. It's unclear when that was.
I think he was.
We know when he was announced. We don't know when he was hired.
It was when he came out and did the breathtaking. When he said that, I think that was the first time they actually announced that he was in there. So my guess
that's
would
the first
be
time they announced it, right? But not.
My guess would be a few months before that, maybe, to do VO work, because they would have the character written. And they may have already had. They may have had Keanu in mind, or they may have had a.
He's doing motion capture and stuff.
Was he doing motion capture?
Yeah,
too?
absolutely. So there's
I didn't know that.
if they just
I didn't
added
know
him, if they added him late, that was one of the dumbest business decisions they ever made. That's why I don't think it makes any sense at all. Your theory has no evidence and is stupid.
Well, my theory is based off of what other people were speculating.
Look at me being mean. What if they turn out to be right? I don't care.
Right? I know.
I just think like that's just such a bad move in that case. I don't feel like they're that foolish.
But here are some things that features that were mentioned in trailers or were just talked about. So wall running was cut.
I know that one.
NPC daily routines and AI. That hurts me. Because that was something I was looking forward to.
Yeah, that's.
And here's another thing too. Like Skyrim and other games like that have NPC daily routines, even if it's something simple. Go to A, and then at this time go to B, and then at this time go to the bar, and then go home. Like something simple of that.
That's been there since Oblivion at the very.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember Morrowind if they had that too, but Oblivion was like 2001. It's a long time ago, man.
It was not 2001.
It was 2003. It's old.
It was not that long ago.
Are you sure?
2006.
Really?
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, right? March 20th, 2006.
What am I thinking? Look at that. Yeah, 2006.
What was Elder Scrolls 3?
Morrowind.
Was it? Because to be fair, I really only know Skyrim.
Well, you're.
I know
kid.
of Oblivion and stuff, but
Morrowind.
I haven't played
Morrowind was 2002. That's why I'm confusing those. Okay.
Those two, Daggerfall, and the first one, Arena. Interesting, but yeah, these NPCs don't really have daily routines, and if you skip forward time, nothing changes. Like you can fire a gun in the air, and the AI will do the thing that every single AI does, and it just crouches and hides. None of them react like to run away or anything. They all crouch and hide. And you can fast forward the time, and when you pop out of the menu, the character they're still there.
They're still there.
Like in that yeah. So like fast forwarding time does nothing. It's like it does nothing. It changes the time of the day and changes the lighting and stuff like that, but it changes nothing else in the world. The same song is playing on the radio. And, I mean, that might be a bit realistic, where the radio's playing the same fucking song every hour.
No, the fact that there's a radio is not realistic. But go ahead.
Dude, the songs on the radio slap. I have added some of those songs to my playlists.
They created a whole bunch of new ones, right?
Oh my god, dude. I listen to The Dirge, which is just rap music. Oh my god, some of those songs are straight fire. They are incredible.
Is there, I didn't get very far. Actually, I guess I got, so here's my play experience, and it's a bit of an odyssey. So I played it at launch right away on my PC, and I'm going around, and I'm really not feeling the controls at all on the keyboard and mouse, which I was afraid of. So I stopped and then booted it up on my PlayStation 5 because I got it on that too. Because I like supporting people. And I like supporting companies that come up with new IPs and stuff. So I felt
yeah.
And this game was well reviewed. I bought it after it was reviewed. I didn't pre-order this stuff. And then it was crazy glitchy on my PS5. So nope, screw that. Go back to my PC.
Did you plug in the controller on your PC?
Yeah, I tried that. I set up my controller. Didn't like the way that handled it all. Went back to the keyboard and mouse. Got to a first spot. Looked in the mirror. All my clothes were off. And I didn't have a penis anymore. And I panicked and restarted. And then went again. There's a number of penis-related bugs in this game. And I was trying to think of course there's going to be
one of my
penis-related
favorite
bugs.
ones is people putting pants on and their wang
and
is
then
still
their dick
hanging
pops
out.
through, right? Yeah.
Yeah, fucking love that.
Yeah,
so you can customize your genitals.
There's never been penises
in this game.
games before, right? Like there's never been. This is the first time, and of course there are going to be bugs with a new penis.
No, I mean, there's. Do you count Saints Row the Third's 6-foot purple dildo that you use as a weapon?
No, I'm talking about a penis on a body.
All right, let's see. Video games with penises.
Customizable penises.
Well, customizable penises.
Because
no.
like this. So
But
it's a brand new set of bugs that really threw me, and the fact that I panicked so much to restart, it was after like 4 hours or 3 hours.
Mount Your Friends was that's an online game. That one doesn't.
I'm sure
count.
there are porn games that do it. I've never played any of those.
Well, I'm not going to count those, and that's not a porn game. But Rust. Rust has you just out with your schlong, just walking about. Oh, didn't Payne and Lynch too?
I haven't played any of these games, man. I can't, I guess my experience is not that wide.
Maybe. But so you can customize your genitals in this game, but you never see them.
Yeah.
This goes because like you can romance characters, but you don't see the genitals with that. So what's the point of customizing when you can't see them? To which the romances, there's none. There's basically none. There's 2 prostitutes that you can sleep with, one male, one female, and they'll sleep with whatever. And then there's 2 male romances, 2 female romances.
Maybe don't get into this again.
But that's not a spoiler, though.
I just want to leave people as clean a game as possible when they jump into it.
Okay, so another thing that was removed is the wanted system and the like corrupt cops thing. Have you noticed the issue with the cops in this game?
I got nowhere with cops. I've never bumped into them.
So if you can, no matter where you are, I was in the desert behind a bridge with a silenced pistol and I shot someone, and immediately 2 cops spawned behind me. Cops spawn on you instead of going to your area. They spawn on you. You can see them spawn. There are people on the subreddit that were on the roof of a building and up there, and they fired a shot down into the crowd, and 3 cops appeared behind them on the fucking roof of the building almost immediately. That is nuts.
This game is more disappointing than I thought it was going to be.
Right? There's no vehicle customization. You can buy... Okay, also, so you buy vehicles in this game, but you don't get them via, a normal store. You get them from missions, and then you have to go and you buy them that way, which is kind of weird, but I thought it would have been cooler if you go to a car shop and buy a car that way. But once you have these cars that you buy, or you earn them, you can't customize them. There's no customization at all, for at least any that I've noticed. You can't even change the color, let alone anything like the engine, spoilers, the chassis, any of that stuff. You can't even change the color.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I hated. I decided I was gonna drive as little as possible in the game,
dude,
because the controls were just not great.
I love the radio and the music so much in this game. I have driven everywhere, and in fact,
I didn't like the way it handles it all at all. So your recommendation would be to play it right now, right?
I cannot, in good faith, recommend this game right now to people. Even though the fact I'm enjoying it, I can't because I know
played
I'm
games
niche.
A lot more dealing with bugs as a profession. So you're way more tolerant to this stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me, as well as also the fact that you can get lost in this world. It is beautiful looking. Absolutely. The world looks phenomenal. And just driving around or walking around and just kind of looking at everything, and that is great. And I could just immerse myself with that. And that is enough for me. And I definitely understand. To me, it's just about immersion with that, of me playing how I want to play, and I can play this game how I want, like a silent stealth hacker. I'm playing it like Thane, which is how I said I wanted to play it, and have you
had any issue with the hacking not taking?
What do you mean?
I said, turn this camera off, and it says okay, and it does it, and then the camera doesn't turn off.
No,
I had that happen repeatedly right before really. I decided to stop playing.
Although
it just completely ruined it.
I am only doing hacking stuff. I have 12 or 13 RAM. I am just filled with hacks. I am like fighting cyber psychos and stuff like that, just like hacking all this stuff. It's great.
All right,
But
yeah.
another thing is also customizable apartments, just like customizable vehicles. It's not in the game.
That one I
You
wasn't
can't-
expecting.
You can't customize your apartment, and from my understanding, your apartment never changes from like where you live in the game. Which one of the trailers said, like, oh, are you looking for a fancy place or like something like that? But your apartment never changes. And how you talked about fast travel, there's no. It saddens me that there's nothing with the fast travel, like no subway system or a bus or something that you get on. Because how simple would it have been to, if you go to a fast travel point, you have like a thing of one of those flying vehicles like land, that'd be a bus, and your character gets in and just brings you out. Kind of like what they have with Spider-Man or something like that. Like, just hide the loading screen behind a basic animation like that.
I didn't get many loading screens when I did mine, but that makes sense.
And that was another thing too. They said there weren't. I mean,
Well,
maybe because it is pri-gen.
It's because
So
you're
I
on the previous gen and you have a different kind of hard drive.
Okay, because I can accept that.
Yeah, no, it's
Because
what they should have done, and I figured this as soon as they delayed it the first time. As soon as it was about to come out too close to next gen, they should have just pushed it a whole year. And of course, it's easy to say, "Hey, spend more money and spend more time developing," but quite obviously, it needed it.
I don't think they should have released for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I don't think they should have released this game on that. I think if they purely went with next gen stuff,
they could have kicked it.
People
would have
been pissed off, but
yeah.
People would have been pissed off, but so fucking what? If the game came out, then they would have been happy. Like, they would have dealt with it. It's like, yeah.
So
and another
one
thing
thing
too,
that I noticed
like,
too is that they're like, oh, we're sorry, we knew it was broken, but we sold it to you anyway, and we apologize. I'm paraphrasing what they said, but I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, that's such a middle finger.
And well, they've said that they're going to come out and fix this no
Of
matter
course,
what the
but
cost. I'm like, well, you've already made your money back.
Do you believe anything they say anymore?
Yes, I do believe that they are going to work on it. I mean, they may not go the full No Man's Sky route, but we have seen games come back from the dead like that. Siege was kind of like that. The Master Chief Collection, it was like that, where they had issues at the beginning, but now they got a strong base.
Well, they're at a point now where they just got to do it, and saying it is not going to be good.
They also
enough
they don't have much of a choice too.
They really they had a fantastic reputation. CD Projekt Red did, and it's gone. And they cashed it in, as you mentioned. It made its money back already. It was $500 million in pre-orders, and they don't get all of that money, but that was enough to cover both the cost of making the game and the marketing budget, which is usually about
covered
the same.
the marketing budget?
Absolutely, it covered the marketing budget too. So the
marketing budget for Destiny 2, I think, was $500 million.
So that was a projection that I saw. It'll be interesting to see the actual numbers, but it covered everything they had, so they were profitable immediately. And at that point, they cashed in their reputation on pre-orders, and they got a lot of people, and it won't happen again.
Destiny had a marketing budget of $500 million.
The original one?
Yes. I'm just saying Destiny budget.
That seems extreme to the
I mean, the list of most expensive. So, what do you think was the most expensive video game to make?
Wasn't it Grand Theft Auto?
Grand Theft Auto 5 is the third most expensive.
All right, hit me up with
in development costs.
Okay, pure development costs. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So the first one is Star Citizen. Actually, no. Well, fuck it. I said the first one. Okay, so starting with number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So starting with number 5 was Max Payne 3.
Really?
Which cost $105 million.
No way.
Which,
all right,
honestly, Max Payne 3,
it looks good.
I thought was fun.
It looked good. It was a fun game.
The multiplayer for it has a mechanic in it that I want other games to have, and that is when your character dies, it shows like a body outline of your character showing where you got shot.
Yeah, don't get
That was
sidetracked.
cool.
You got onto something interesting. Don't get sidetracked too much. Continue with your list.
So number 4 is Cyberpunk 2077.
What does they have what's the number they have?
121 million.
Okay, so that
as of Derek Strickland, September 3rd, 2020, saying CD Projekt Red spent over 121 million.
Yeah, I think what the total I saw was marketing and budget combined for about 315.
Well, this is
So
what
that
I'm
would-
reading
that
off
would-
is
that
the
would work.
development cost.
Yeah, no, that would work. That would make sense with both our numbers getting accurate. together.
Marketing cost is honestly usually about the same as development cost. If a
Yeah.
game costs about
It's
$100 million to
they
develop,
usually spend about they spend exactly what they. Yeah.
marketing's expensive.
I don't.
So
That 500 million number does not sit with me. I don't feel like that's accurate because, dude, Marvel like Disney movies don't spend that much on marketing,
well,
and that's just too much. Like 200 million to 250 million is a max for marketing any of this stuff.
I mean,
unless the
if
cost
you
went
look
like
up
nuts.
Destiny, if you look up Destiny's marketing thing, a bunch of things are saying 500 million.
How is that accurate? How did whatever? All right, keep on going. We've gone through.
Grand Theft Auto 5 was number 3 with
Okay.
137 development, and it does have its marketing cost at 128.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it
that's
was
more
5
in line,
million
and that came
or,
out just a
9
little
million.
bit before the original Destiny, right? So
Yeah, 2013.
I feel like that was marketed just as much as Destiny, not a quarter of the amount. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Continue.
Number 2
yeah.
is Star Wars: The Old Republic
no
with BioWare. Yep.
Is that adjusted for
200
inflation?
million was the development cost.
Is that adjusted for inflation though?
Adjusted for 2020 inflation would be 227 million.
Okay.
So Star Wars: The Old Republic was 200 million development. And then number 1 was Star Citizen with 215 plus, which that game still hasn't come out.
Yeah, they're just spending their money, and that money. I don't feel like counting that because they kind of took that money from other people.
Hey, do you want your feelings hurt about something that I also just quickly checked on this?
All right, go ahead and hurt my feelings. Let's see if you got it.
So, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, my favorite Call of Duty game. It slapped. It cost 50 million to develop. Its marketing cost was 200 million.
I believe that. Yeah.
It cost 4 times to market that game than to develop it.
No, that makes sense because they're just making a copy of a game basically. So they got most of the assets in place. So it's not as expensive to develop it, and around 200 million for a premier entertainment franchise. That makes sense. That all fits in.
And they also spent so much money on getting things like the M&M and all these rights that they had for celebrities and all that stuff.
All right, so
how much did Mass Effect cost? Wasn't the budget like 30 million or 40 million, something like that?
I don't know offhand.
It was something small.
I know the
compared to what
Andromeda
it is
budget
now.
was supposed to be 40 million, and people were freaking out about how large that was, and I was like, dude, that's not large at all.
No, that's not.
It's not. That's not large
In fact,
at all.
that
That's
is
very
small for an RPG.
Yeah, that's incredibly small.
There's a fun game on Steam. It is called Game Dev Tycoon, and it's where you are making you try to mix and match different types of games and give it different budgets and genres and stuff like that, and that can kind of give you a kind of like a initial idea just of how much development costs or just how things kind of work with that.
So my favorite part about that game, and I haven't confirmed this, but apparently if you they had pirated versions they put up, and if you go get one of the pirated versions, you can't make any money by selling any of your games because people pirate your games.
Yeah, and it gives you a notification saying that, hey, your game was pirated.
That's fantastic.
There are other things as well. Like, I think it was Alan Wake. If you pirated that game, your character has an eye patch. Like, as the game.
That's it?
I think so.
All right. Well, I went ahead and asked because this got me intrigued about open world games and stories and first person games and stories. So I asked a bunch of people which AAA game has the best storytelling in each of the following categories.
Oh God.
A, open world game, B, first person game, and C, first person open world game. Did you get that thing when I sent it to you, or you ignored it?
Oh no, I saw that. But so
you're
looking
gonna
up
I set up something and you're gonna completely cut it off?
Oh, this is worth it. This is worth it.
It's probably not, but go ahead.
I looked up like what were some kind of like reactions for games for cheaters and so on like that. And the first one was a game that I've never heard of called Roma Victor, which is an MMORPG set during the Roman Empire's time in Britain. And apparently, if your character is caught cheating, they don't ban you or anything like that. They actually hang you up in a crucifix.
All right.
In that game. They crucify your character for 7 days in this MMO game.
So thanks for
that is
interrupting
nuts.
the flow.
They crucify your character.
That's not fun at all. That's gross.
No, but that's wild.
You do know how nasty
That's
crucifixion
wild.
is, right?
Absolutely, but
Okay.
just like what, like has any other thing had that where your character gets crucified? That's wild.
Okay. I'm not as impressed as you.
Oh man.
All right. Hey, which AAA game has the best storytelling for an open world game? What's your answer?
AAA open world.
AAA open world game, best storytelling.
Maybe Far Cry 3.
Far Cry 3 in store. Actually, I heard a lot about that. Yeah.
It was good. It was really good.
Interesting.
It was such an enjoyable game that I got all the achievements in Far Cry 3, and then when the remaster came out, I got all the achievements in that one as well.
Okay. So
I replayed it to 100%.
The list, almost everyone said Witcher 3, or a lot of people said Witcher 3 on my part. That would have been mine.
That's expected, but
yeah,
I mean, I didn't have
Horizon Zero Dawn got a couple of votes. Then we got Assassin's Creed Origins, Red Dead Redemption 2. Someone put Cyberpunk on there because they were really into it. Fallout New Vegas and Dragon Age Origins.
If that person's enjoying it,
if you are enjoying a
power
game,
to
fantastic.
Absolutely.
Go for it. I have no problem with people enjoying games that I don't like. It's good.
That is something some people need to honestly get the fuck over.
Yeah, I don't understand
if someone's
that at all.
enjoying a game, let them enjoy it.
All right, so your answer might be the same for all three of these because you had an open world first person game. The second part was just a first person game. Best story. Any kind of first person game.
The Halo.
Half-Life 2 was the most voted for. There's also Half-Life Alyx. I got that pronounced right. I absolutely
Halo.
Halo is on there. Just Halo. Which game? I meant specific game though. Which Halo game has the best storytelling in your opinion?
People would say Halo 2, but
That's what
I would say the first one because Halo 2 is honestly not. There's nothing much of a story with Halo 2. It is a great middle point. But in the beginning of the game and the end of the game, nothing really changes. It sets up the third end for Halo 3, and it builds off of Halo 1. It is like a great centerpiece, but as a standalone story, Halo 2 just isn't as much with it.
All right, so some other games in there, Wolfenstein: The New Order and Metro Exodus.
Is Metro really that well liked? I've heard that it was well enjoyed. But...
So I was trying to think, I don't know what my answer is. I was thinking almost Portal 2 because I really enjoyed that.
God, I love Portal 2.
Then the first person open world game, Fallout New Vegas, mentioned many, many times. Cyberpunk 2077 reminds me a lot of Fallout New Vegas in that it's crazy buggy.
Well, you mean Fallout 76?
No, Fallout New Vegas, man. Fallout New Vegas was a mess. Fallout New Vegas was an absolute mess. Yeah.
Because
this
so was
had
Fallout
some
76.
famous, but I'm aware of that, but that one nobody enjoyed. Fallout New Vegas is a lot of people's favorite games, and it was just a mess.
Oh,
There was a bug in Fallout New Vegas where if you kill an NPC and then loot his hat, the game will crash if you don't wear the hat for the rest of the game.
I love it. That is not a bug, that's a feature.
Isn't that awesome? I haven't done, but that's like the funniest thing I've ever heard. So that hat needs to be worn by someone in the game or the entire game will not run. Like, how does that? Awesome. I don't know how that even happens. Anyway, Fallout 4 was also mentioned. Mirror's Edge was mentioned, which is that open world?
Mirror's.
I didn't think that was open world.
I think I didn't play Catalyst, but I think I heard Catalyst was kind of open world-ish.
It still fits into a first-person game.
Mirror's Edge is a good game. The first one, it's definitely a niche kind of game with like it's how the fact it's like a parkour kind of running game, and I can definitely see how that might turn some people off, but it's honestly a pretty enjoyable game, and I think it's on Game Pass because of EA Access.
Interesting.
I think it may be part of the games that's on there.
Also, Elder Scrolls and The Outer Worlds were mentioned as far as
unsurprising
first-person open world. Although the Elder Scrolls games, I always felt were more about you telling your own story than as far as individual storytelling. But Skyrim did have some stuff. So,
with open world, did anyone say like any of the GTA games?
No.
GTA 5.
Nobody mentioned GTA as this is specifically storytelling in an open world game, not your favorite open world games.
So,
GTA 5 does tell stories. Yeah, but that wasn't anyone's favorite, apparently. We have a very specific crowd
when
looking
GTA
at
5, when GTA 5 came out, GTA Online didn't come out for a month later because the Rockstar wanted people to play the campaign. They also wanted to get online ready for launch.
It also was an absolute mess. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I do wonder how much of that. Oh, we want people to play the story, but I'm
it's probably because it wasn't ready.
But I mean, I do kind of see the merit behind that. Of they put all this time and work in that, and then they don't want people to only play the multiplayer because that is an interesting statistic that you can see in a lot of development stuff, like the Call of Duty games and all that stuff. So you can see how many people play this game and only play multiplayer.
As far as GTA 5 goes, though, that we've talked about this several times. That game, $1.2 billion in 3 days?
Yep.
How many of those people bought it for the multiplayer? Very close to zero, right?
I mean,
there's no way they weren't going to get people to play that game. Nobody
I mean, that GTA is one of the games that you have to buy if you're a gamer.
GTA 4 had a multiplayer, so it wasn't like it was the first multiplayer.
And GTA 5 did like show trailers for its multiplayer and stuff like that before the game came out. But I mean, I wasn't getting GTA 5 in like with I want to play the multiplayer with it. But I also didn't get it because like I want to play the story with it. It was the like I want to play the next GT like that thing, and I want to see what the story is, and I want to also experience it with my friends and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, the GTA stories never really spoke to me. It was more about having a world to play in. So that doesn't surprise me that as far as being the best storytelling in an open world game, there wasn't. They go for it, but they don't. It's not the focus for sure.
No, but GTA 5 story was enjoyable, and I really liked the narrative jumping between Trevor, Michael, and Trevor. Wait.
You already said that. Don't worry about it.
Trevor, Michael.
You can do it.
And
while you're thinking of that, I'll also toss into the open world game of storytelling. I like Spider-Man PS4. That was one of the
that's an open one.
No
as well.
one mentioned that. It wasn't my top choice, but my top three would be Witcher 3.
CJ. No. Damn it.
My top three would be Witcher 3, Horizon Zero Dawn, and probably Spider-Man. So.
So God of War you consider God of War an open world?
Oh yeah, it's the new one, right?
Yeah, would you consider that open world?
It is definitely open world. Yeah, it's definitely an open world. It's not.
Would you consider Minecraft open world?
That has, there are places to go out and explore, basically.
Well, I mean, I do feel like I feel like there's a difference between open world and sandbox. While they are absolutely can go hand in hand, there are absolutely games that are really just kind of sandboxes, not open world.
Okay.
Like Gary's mod.
If you're going for a story in Minecraft, then I don't know what to do.
Well, Minecraft's also changed over time.
It probably
too.
has.
They've added a story. They got the Ender Dragon and all that. Like I kind of the OG Minecraft, like when not the first alpha thing of it, when it was literally just grass that you would put around, but like kind of when Minecraft was kind of becoming popular and so on. Like that was, I would say, more of a sandbox than open world. It had the aspect of a open world that you walked around.
I don't have a lot of experience with it, so.
Really?
Yeah.
With Minecraft?
Yeah, just not my thing.
That's fair.
I really like the concept of it, and it should be in more games, but specifically, it's it's not.
It's essentially Legos.
I just never got in. I know.
And it's just it's well done. But like I enjoyed the fuck out of Minecraft. I got all the achievements in Minecraft.
Yeah, you get all the achievements a lot.
I'm planning to do that with Cyberpunk.
Good luck.
Like,
have fun with that, man. So
well, I've already.
I have a.
done...
We'll back up to. I have a conundrum coming up for Cyberpunk because I want to play it, right? And
you should play it.
Yeah, but
you already own the game, so I can tell you to play it.
Yeah, well,
I can't tell someone to buy the game. Right
one of the
now.
best things about Cyberpunk being all buggy and me putting it down is that I got to pick up Immortals: Phoenix Rising, and I'm loving the shit out of that game, which I also don't recommend to anyone because it's really corny, but I'm enjoying it. But there is a chance that if I don't finish Cyberpunk by February 4th, that I will never finish Cyberpunk. So.
What happens February 4th?
I absolutely need to finish it, right? That would be your thing?
I would definitely say to play, like, if you own Cyberpunk right now, I would say to kind of maybe go back into it with...
I want to give it as much time as possible for them to patch it. There's supposed to be another patch coming out within a week.
They said that there's going to be a patch coming out in January and February, but why February 4th? Why that date?
That is the date that Outriders is coming out, and Outriders has the most Mass Effect-like combat I've seen in a long time. So, and it's multiplayer.
And also, the remaster might be coming out around February or
March. So that's the thing. So if I get really into Outriders with my friends and stuff, which we've been waiting for a game to play together for a while, not since the Tsushima multiplayer, we really dove into something. But if it's as good as Mass Effect, I'm going to play that a lot. And then once Mass Effect Remaster comes out, then it's over. Then I'm not going to get back to Cyberpunk. So,
and also Cyberpunk, how they said they're working on their multiplayer, they got to put that on the back burner.
They said
now.
They were, yeah. That wasn't even planned until
shit.
2022. So that might be even further out. I think they haven't even started on it yet. But
I mean, they could definitely have gotten some concepts of it, which I feel like. They could definitely do the concept of it. That would be fine. But the fact that, like, earlier today when I was playing it and I was having a conversation with someone in a diner and I saw a person in the background get up from their seat and T-pose as they glide their way out the door. And when they got out the door, then they had their normal walking animation. I saw that in the background. I put down my controller. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
That T-pose thing is hilarious, but it's not. This is not a game that I want bugs in. I'll just put it that way.
It's just, man, there was another one too. When I was inside where the prostitute was, there was one girl that was inside a chair T-posing, and when I talked to them, it was the sound voice of a young boy. So keep in mind, this was a grown adult woman inside a sex building shop thing. T-posing, and I went up and talked to them, and it was a little boy's voice that said, I can't find my mom, or like, do you want to adopt me?
Oh,
or something like that. Like, I can't find my mom. I'm like, this is creepy. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Man, that's terrible.
That was like horror. I was like, nope. I'm out. I'm gone.
All right, I'm going to start pushing us towards the ending again, which is going to take us a while. The Game Awards happened. Is there anything else you want to chat about that was announced in the Game Awards?
Man, there was a trailer.
There was a Dragon Age trailer, and I know you were super into Dragon Age.
Am I?
No, not at all. I actually like that quite a bit, although they didn't show anything. It doesn't look close to done to me. But it's
What were some of the trailers?
It's set in the it's set in the Tevinter Imperium, and that is by far the most interesting location to me in the entire Dragon Age universe, so to say. So that might be good.
Among Us is getting a new map. That was shown off at the...
Should I not have asked this question? Do you not have an answer for it?
No, I said Among Us. That got a new map announced at Game Awards.
And that's big?
It's a fun game.
I mean,
An even better thing, Back for Blood got announced. How about that? Oh, voice crack. Puberty hit me a second time.
That's the Dead Space.
Made by Turtle Rock. Left 4 Dead.
What's the... Oh, that's right, that one. I was thinking of Dead Space spiritual successors.
Visceral. Turtle Rock is the one that made
Visceral
Left 4
doesn't
Dead.
exist anymore, but there was a Dead Space spiritual successor.
Was there? What?
Yeah.
Well, Back for Blood got shown, and it looks... I mean, I think they only showed a CGI trailer, but it looks like Left 4 Dead, but like it looks like it's going to play exactly like Left 4 Dead, and it's got unique infection or unique infected and all this kind of stuff, but instead of zombies, it looks like they're infected with worms.
Yeah.
Like worms are kind of doofer. Christ, dude.
All right.
Take a break.
The Callisto Protocol is the
Callisto
the game.
Protocol.
Yeah, which is done by the guy who did Dead Space with the new studio.
The Callisto Protocol. Is it out already?
No. It's announced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like it already came out.
No.
Or
It was an
like
announcement.
That. Was it announced at... Oh, yeah, I see that right here. Callisto Project. Okay.
Is it Project or Protocol? I thought it was Protocol. Yeah.
Protocol.
All right. By the way, something's
but
happening on Friday that you need to pay attention to. At least I think it's Friday. Not Friday. No, next Monday. Jupiter and Saturn are going to be on top of each other, so that's something to watch.
That's hot.
It's going to be... Supposedly, you won't be able to tell them apart unless you have good eyesight. So this happens once every 20 years. They haven't been this close together since 2026. Or 1226, excuse me.
Watch, a third planet's going to pop out in a few months.
What's going to happen is it's going to be cloudy and it's going to be 2020's final fuck you for the year. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, I live in Seattle.
Yeah, you're going to be in trouble. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it at the...
But did you play Left 4 Dead?
No.
No, because I know you don't like zombies, and I know you don't like first-person shooters, but I didn't know if Left 4 Dead
it's got a lot
was
of things
such
I'm
an
not into.
iconic game.
That's cool. Enjoy your iconic games. I got no interest.
So, why? Like, what is it about it?
You just went over two different things. It's got zombies.
No, it was zombies. It was zombie. Like, what is it about?
That's a specific show that we're going to have at some point. I'm going to break all that down. It's a very long explanation.
Okay.
And we're at the end of the show.
There's Microsoft. I don't know if you're interested with this, but Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming to console.
You know what? That game's too slow for me.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's neat.
I will slap on a podcast or something like that and just do that. Or you can fly a plane right into your ex's house.
Yeah, that sounds creepy. We're gonna wrap this up. You never let me wrap it up when I say I'm about to wrap it up. I'm just going to start wrapping it up instead.
Well,
it's time for the obscure Mass Effect character. Tucker, you're done.
There was one more thing.
Tucker, you're done. It's time for the obscure Mass Effect character of the week. Do you know how to pronounce Vorcha names?
No.
I believe this is pronounced Shizik or Shishk. It's probably Shishk.
Vorcha.
It's a Vorcha. Pronounced. No one is going to know who this character is. It's one of my favorite characters.
How do you spell it?
Shisk. Shishk.
Oh, Shishk.
Shishk. And this is the reason
S-H-I-S. Okay, there we go.
The reason I chose this character is because I like using his audio in my vids, and it's also voiced by Mark Meer. And I wanted to get another person.
Vorcha are voiced by him.
Because, it has to be. And he's on Omega before you get into the Garrus finding mission.
What does he have to do with Gavern?
I don't know. His role,
when I look up
his
Vorcha
role does not
Shish.
make any sense. I believe they had something planned for him and he got cut, but Captain Gavorn is one of the guys going after Garrus, I believe.
Because
this guy just leaves.
I Google, like whenever you mention the characters, I always Google them just so I can like have a picture up or some facts or things like that.
No, because you have to, because I'm picking ridiculously obscure characters.
I see 3 things that are Shishk and Gavorn.
Yeah,
like
no.
Mass Effect 2, game facts.
All Shish does is talk about Gavorn. That's all he does. But he also
Really?
has this line, and that's why it's in there. I'm going to put it in right now.
Go away. Talk too much. Gavorn's thugs get no more. We leave.
Good talking to you.
No more talk. We know Gavorn's tricks. We leave.
Yeah, so that.
Yeah, so. Okay.
So
Interesting.
we've got a couple awesome nominations that are better than that one. I just wanted to get 3 Mark Me Your characters in a row. You can send your recommendations to accidentallycasual@gmail.com. So I have a question for next week that you can write into again to accidentallycasual@gmail.com. What is the game you most want to play but know that you never will?
Ooh, wait, what do you mean by that?
So it's a game that you really want to play but know that you're never going to actually play it. And this could be any reason. It could be including the game doesn't actually exist or won't exist, like a sequel to a game that's not going to exist. I'm never going to play Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I think I would really, really like that game. But
you said that would never exist.
No,
that game exists.
I'm aware of that. You didn't listen to the first question. What is the game you most want to play but know that you never will? So your answer could be Half-Life 3. Mine is Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I know I'm never going to play that because I'm never going to buy a Nintendo just to play one game.
Well, you could emulate it on your PC.
I'm probably never going to do that. Never going to get to it.
Do you know how to run an emulator?
I could figure it out. I'm just saying.
They're relatively simple.
I'm never going to do it. That's my answer.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So you can write into accidentallycasual@gmail.com. So this has been episode number 18 of the Accidentally Casual Gaming Podcast. If you want us on Twitter, I'm at MiniusGC. Tucker is at Appy Tucker. And we will be back next week with more stuff. Catch you then.
Bye-bye.
All right, Tucker, say hi.
Hello.
You never actually say hi. You just say hello.
Yeah.
The whole point is to try to sync the audio, and you just don't give a shit.
And I'll make sure to say the correct thing next time.
No, it's fine because I'm expecting it.
Oh, okay.
All right, you ready to go?
Sure. But speaking of nominations, another thing at the Game Awards was Fortnite having Master Chief.
I'm Tucker. I'm taking us out. I don't care about that.
But it's Halo.
I don't care about Fortnite at all.
But it has Master Chief.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up
That's
editing this
fair.
out. It's not even gonna be in there.
Oh, you learn how to break my heart
Yeah.
every single time.
You know what? Maybe this will be at the end of the show.